give you a good example. Most people, like mom and dad's house, you grew up and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. You get like your heartstrings tied into a knot, and, now you're pretty much, oh, that's my childhood home. This is where I did this. This is where I did that. You got a lot of emotion into it. Well, when the parents die and it's up to the kids to make a decision about what they want to do with that house,
they always want to
I got to tell you, it's about 1 in 20 keep the house.
They usually want,
they just move on. I mean, times are different. This isn't for me anymore. Would have been nice to go to the lake every summer, like we did, we'd go every weekend and go camping. We don't do any of that shit anymore.
Yeah.
Kids don't even play pickup baseball.
Oh man, come on. I mean, we used to go to the playground, and you bring a ball and a bat, and there would be a kid want to play baseball, and you'll get a team together. You get two teams together. That was the most fun thing about life, growing up in the 60s. Well,
before Nintendos and things where they can get together over the internet now. I mean, they are socializing. They're just not doing it in the way we used to. That's the way it is. I mean, it's not for everybody.
You know what's funny? I see these kids looking at their phone and walking, and a kid was looking at this. He was about 22, 23. He's looking at his phone. He trips over something and falls, and I just thought it was kind of funny. You gotta watch your walking. So that's all that's going on with me. You have any good wisdom just led for next week to somebody? Anybody know?
I'll give you a tip on the market right now. This man, a gentleman, he's going to sell his house, and he's looking to move into a nicer neighborhood called Carmel. A little bit more expensive, a little bit more square feet. And he's moved up in the world. He can afford $350,000, $400,000 worth of house. However, he's FHA because his down payment doesn't qualify to be a conventional. He makes good money, he just doesn't have it on him. It's just one of those things. So I'm out there trying to get him an FHA. I'm just trying to get anybody to listen to us to just let us go see a house because it's FHA. They are not accepting FHA loans pretty much at all out here right now. It's a shame, but I think I figured out a way where I can take an FHA buyer and with the help of a company called AmeriFirst. AmeriFirst will buy the home for you. You tell them the terms that you want to, you got this house in mind. They'll go buy it for you with cash, and then as soon as that closing's done, you go across the hall and you refinance it with them, and you turn it from their house to your house, and you have presented a cash offer, and you've gotten the deal through. So I really like that idea for FHA buyers. If there's something that they can do to take the shine off of that FHA tag, I would do it. And for a couple $1,000 just to get the house you want, I'd rather have you pay a couple $1,000 to a service that will, make a better showing of you than chase up the rainbow and then throw that money into, the money pit. I think it's a good play. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more research on how to help FHA buyers kind of get around this hump of, conventional and cash are king.
I have a question for you. This AmeriFirst, how do they make money? Do they get a profit? Do they get 5% on the sale? They jack up. You have to pay them $5,000 more.
I called them today and I left a voicemail. I haven't heard back. But I'd like to see something of their agreement that they make with other people so I can read what the fine print looks like. And if it's just a quick flip and, from, them to you, for a couple $1,000, hell of a lot worth it. Because I got to tell you, my last FHA buyer in the $300,000 range took 13 offers to get a house to even be interested in saying, yes, we'll accept you. That's how bad it is to be an FHA buyer right now.
Really?
So I was like, maybe I know that you can tie the repairs into the purchase. It's called a 203K loan. Why can't we do something like that with, like, say, the escrow money? Or maybe we can do something where maybe somebody buys it for, and then I tripped over AmeriFirst. I went down this big, deep rabbit hole because there are other entities out there that do facilitate the transaction. And in this case, their time has come. I mean, there's no reason to have a company like that unless it's a busy market like we have today. So I'm going to do a little bit more deep dive and see if I can find a competitor, who does that kind of thing. That guarantees that if they buy the house, you have to buy it from them. It's not like a rug pull, where you found this really spectacular house and got this really cool deal or whatever. I want to make sure it's safe for the consumer before I, put it in front of anybody. My latest buyer, his son is autistic. He's 10, so he needs a school district that's going to be, well into the spectrum and servicing the kids who are on it. And that's pretty much in Carmel right now. Carmel Clay School District has a kick-ass autistic program for their children, and there's just nothing in Carmel for this guy that he can touch. I mean, Carmel is starts at 400. That's his high water mark. So we've gone to a couple that weren't quite 350s, 400s. Wasn't really. You would think at least marble countertops. You would think at least, but they were all laminate, and, not updated, and it's the slums of Carmel.
Oh my goodness! Well, hey, I didn't know that. I was wondering if they make you pay them $1,000 extra or $5,000 extra. I mean, it's like I had a friend who was talking to me about buying a house or renting a house to buy. And I talked to you about it, and you said, "Don't tell your friend not to do that." And he didn't do it. So
good.
So, I mean, that was
good.
I mean, renting to own is not really a good deal, I don't think. So I don't know what else to say. Talk to you next week.
Buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
Everything. Buyer beware of everything.
Beware of everything. Just keep your eyes open.
Have somebody in your corner who knows something about what's going on, not just overall, but currently. We're back to that 5% froth. If it says 300,000 on the listing sheet, you can pretty much guarantee, you come in anything less than 320, 325, you're not even in the game anymore. It's like the minimum. Bare minimum that you should bid is the listing price, and you better guarantee that appraisal gap. If there's an appraisal problem, you're going to cover it. And there's people out there with bucks who do that. They'll pay $500. They'll pay 50% more than. I have a friend in California. He told me that it was listed at 1.2. His first offer was 2.2. $1 million over asking.
It's probably that.
It's California.
Well, California's California. Yeah, I know that.
I can see 50, 25. You're giving away a little tomorrow's equity today. You got money to burn, whatever. But honestly, $1 million over list.
I'm speechless.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really ridiculous. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know what to say. You just gotta be. I know a friend who had a studio apartment in Vegas. He was always paying almost $2,000. Well, no, about $1,000 a couple of years. Well, this is about 10 years ago. He's paying for $1,000, and he used to live in
Okay.
He used to live in Boys Town or Lincoln Park area, Belmont, Sheffield,
right.
And he
by my office, right?
And he had a beautiful old 2-bedroom apartment there. It was an old building, and he was paying he was paying $1,000 for that apartment in the city. And he moved to L.A. because he's an actor, and he's paying for almost a studio apartment for almost $1,000. And he had roommates and stuff like that. So that's all that's going on with me, my friend. It's time for us to say Godspeed, God bless. I'm all blank. So check out our Facebook group page.
Two guys talking shit on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
But it's the letters, so I mean, just check it out because if you have any ideas, I will be posting things, and probably Dan will be posting things on there. If you have anything you want to post. If you want,
any show ideas or any subjects that you want covered, absolutely. I'm an open book.
Yeah, so am I, and I mean, William Shatner, 90 years old, he finally went to space. Captain Kirk went to space.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Whatever.
I just want to say, if you want to talk about Captain Kirk, we'll talk about Captain Kirk. I don't like William Shatner as it is. I mean, so I'm out of here. We'll talk to you next week. Be good.
Let's do it again next week.
Be good.
All right, you too, Ben.
Bye.
Good talking to you.
Bye.
Bye now.